And joining us on Hot Copy this morning, we have Senator and Philippine Red Cross Chairman Richard Gordon. He is proposing a 7-day home quarantine for returning Filipinos who are already fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Good morning to you, Senator.
Good morning, Karen. Good morning to everyone.
All right, let's discuss your proposal. I know you wrote a letter to Secretary Carlito Galvez regarding this.
Yes, it's necessary because there are too many humanitarian situations going on. People whose parents have died or whose families have died. People on vacation, they need to see their families. Why, burden them with such long quarantine, especially when they've already had their shots abroad? And if they're worried about that, then they can stay at home and then make sure that on the 7th day they get a swab so that they're still fine. I'm aware of the fact that even if you have had a shot, you can still spread it or get it. But to my mind, that's a very, very strong defensive system that you put into your body, and I think you're entitled to enjoy your family at this particular time. And at the same time, two things. One, allow the economy to rise because you can visit other folks. I'm not just talking about about returning residents. I'm talking about practically even the tourists, so that they can come in, provided they follow the protocols and provided they stay in safe places. I think they should go ahead and do it.
What's interesting about your proposal is, let's start with this, a fully vaccinated OFW. Your proposal is arrives in the Philippines and does home quarantine instead of going into these quarantine hotels or quarantine facility. So they go home, and then how do they get the PCR the 7th day? How do you propose that?
Well, they have to go to the Red Cross, or they have to go to any PCR testing facility and make sure that they report, and it is always reported anyway. When you take a test, it is reported to the DOH. And besides, so many of the OFWs, it is registering, at least for the present and for the last several weeks, the rate is going down in terms of positivity. And certainly the humanitarian consideration is there, the economic consideration is there, the mental stress, and the cost to the government.
Yeah.
You have to pay 3,000 pesos per hotel room. And there is a situation in Cebu. The Cebu is an island province. The whole bureaucracy there, from the governor, to the board members, to the congressmen, all of them, to the mayors, they're all saying we can handle it. And closer to me is better. It is hypocritical to say we can have a federal government and they don't trust the local government. It is hypocritical to say that in the Constitution, the local government should be given sway in terms of these policies, and it is even limited by the local government code that says they can have 6 months of national supervision, after which they have to ask permission from the local governor whether they still want to continue. So we have to learn to trust each other. We have to learn to discipline each other. And besides, if you look at the numbers, you have so many people in this country, 110 million people, and so far 1.2 million people have gotten sick of the virus, and only about less than 23,000 people have died. 23.7 people have died. That means that means I think they should be proud of that they're getting ground. The problem is we cannot provide enough vaccines for those who want to get vaccinated.
Okay. What is the science, do you believe, in having fully vaccinated Filipinos still stay? Technically, it's 10 days, kasi like now, I know I have a friend who came back from the US, fully vaccinated, and they test on the 7th day, but they get released technically on the 10th day, Senator.
Well, that's really making double sure, because there's a gestation period, the incubation period of about 7 days. When you're on the plane, for example, even if you're tested but you're not vaccinated, I know of a very, very dear and prominent relative who came in. He was vaccinated in Rome, and then after a couple of days, he came home, and then it turned out to be positive. I kept him in a hotel and away from his parents, and after 10 days, he was okay. At 7 days, he was okay. 7 days would be more than enough time for a person to be assured that he doesn't have the symptoms. But if
Oo.
he exhibits the symptoms, he should be told, and there should be a document given to him that if you start exhibiting the symptoms, he must go directly right away to the PCR for a test, and if necessary, see a doctor right away.
Oo. And you don't believe in testing upon arrival? I'm curious because that's what Cebu was doing. And the IATF said stop that and just put them in a quarantine facility test on the seventh day. So Cebu was doing arrival and also on the seventh day.
Gwen
They
Garcia,
would be home, but they would be home, not in a facility.
Governor Garcia, and the whole bureaucracy of Cebu, all the elected ones, they are taking a risk. If they foul up, it will be an issue in the elections. But they're taking a risk nonetheless because they think it is totally unnecessary. I, however, disagree that swabbing on arrival is going to work because you could catch it on the plane, you could catch it before when you get a ticket, and then you will be bringing it here. Ang importante dyan is you go the whole 7 days, even if you've been vaccinated, even if you've been swabbed, and then on the seventh day, you get the swab or the test again so that it could be more liberal in terms of allowing them to go in a bubble in a place like Boracay where everything is already being organized in such a way that they'll be safe.
Okay. And how do you assure, I mean, based on this proposal, that when returning Filipinos who are fully vaccinated are on home quarantine, they don't spread the virus?
Well,
Because for sure, that would be the fear of the Department of Health.
I was a mayor, and they have to trust them a little bit, and they have to help them a little bit. When I was a mayor, I had neighborhood watches in every block in our city. Alam ko kung sino nagtatanan sa gabi. Naalalaman ko. No? So if you have somebody who came in and he has to be watched, you could always put a sign there, not a stigma, but a sign there that there's somebody assigned to watch them, and if there's anything that they need to do, they can call the local barangay and they can do something about it. But they are not allowed to go out for the first 7 days.
Okay. And so far, has Secretary Carlito Galvez answered your letter?
From our discussions, he has not answered our letter. God knows that he's extremely busy, along with the Wednesdays, and I've discussed this with them. They support it. It is the doctors within, as usual, who are very, very tight. They'd rather keep it strict. But you cannot police everybody.
Yeah.
What is important is teach them how to do it. Parang 10 Commandments yan, hindi panay thou shall not do this, thou shall not do that. Kailangan turuan natin ang mga tao. Ito ang dapat niyong gawin para hindi kayo magkakasakit. At pag nagkamali kayo, kayo mananagot.
Because frankly speaking, Senator, it's not sustainable to actually keep people who are fully vaccinated on quarantine for 10 to 14 days or returning OFWs for 14 days.
I'll tell you, I get this request every day. Right now, there's somebody who had cancer operation, and she has to go up to Baguio. She has to probably all of them have been vaccinated, and I think they should go straight to Baguio where their morale will be better, and they will not be they'll not be under severe stress. So they have been vaccinated, they're safe, and you can give the heads up to the local city health officer. Benji Magalong is pretty strict about all these things. So,
But why are we doing this considering other countries don't do this?
oh, they do.
No, but in the States, if you travel to the US, you don't have to quarantine.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's what I mean. So why are we doing this considering bigger countries are not?
I don't want to be mischievous, but certainly some hotels get it better than the others. Some hotels get paid by the government 3,000 pesos. Gwen Garcia is complaining that even in Cebu, the hotels are paid 1,500. Now, supposing you assign, and this is possible, a big house with several rooms, and tell them, can we rent it from you so that we can have your rooms occupied by your neighbors or your kapurok, and we just pay you 3,000 a month. If you need to go 3,000 a month.
So you believe there's a business angle to this insistence, frankly, on quarantining in hotels upon arrival?
I would rather think that they're doing it regularly in the right manner, but certainly the resistance to get a kickback from a 3,000 peso largesse to keep them longer there is possible. I don't have any proof, but I think it's possible and completely unnecessary as far as I'm concerned.
Very quickly, Senator, Secretary Roque said he is optimistic Filipinos will be maskless outdoors this Christmas. Do you see that coming? I mean, Secretary Galvez also believes that we will reach herd
I don't
immunity by
think so.
the end of the year.
I don't think so. Until I see us flooded with vaccines and people lining up, marami pa rin natatakot. And that's why kami sa Red Cross, we've been waiting for the vaccines and they've given us some and we consume them. And we'll have 1,000 vaccinators. I'm even having high school graduates and college students trained to vaccinate because it's not a very complicated process so long as you have medical supervision. Then I will believe that if a lot of people can vaccinate and if they can distribute the vaccines all over the country as fast as we can, then I think we will beat this. But still, you can see in America, they have done that very, very fast, and now they have a surfeit of vaccines that they're willing to sell and send others. We should be on the front line of that. We should use VFA. Say, come on, we're allies.
Yeah.
We're not going to give you VFA just because you give us a vaccine, but we have mutual interest to quell the disease and to have security in this country. And we have been long allies, so give us a break here.
In terms of the government already giving an accounting of where the first 82 billion was spent, are you satisfied?
No, I'm not, because there is still a deficit, a failure to spend about 40 billion in Bayanihan 1 and another 48 billion, I think, in Bayanihan 2. And then
Really?
they're asking for another 173 billion. Well, so long as they spend it properly, I'll be supportive. But I'm not one of those who say, may gagawin kalokohan yan. You know, trust but verify. Trust but make sure you have the guidelines. Trust and make sure somebody is watching. For example, I have a contract with PhilHealth. And okay, we will test you. They were the ones who came to us. I had to be the one to say, you should have somebody posted in all the vaccination and in all the testing areas. So wala tayong problema. Walang dumadating eh. And that really is a problem, the lack of manpower. And that is why I'm suggesting here is where volunteerism comes in. You know, you don't have to volunteer the whole month. You can have 3 volunteers that will go 3 days a week and then change them again. And then people will feel good that they are bearing the load. They're not just being the recipients of largesse by the government.